Welcome again to Ham Radio Perspectives. I am Quin, K8QS.
I'm Tom, WA9TDD. And today we're going to talk about a real controversial subject, and that's how to ground your ham shack. Grounding a ham shack is one of the most widely misunderstood topics in the hobby because grounding actually refers to three entirely different systems. A proper setup needs to address all three to keep you safe, your signals clean, and your insurance man happy.
Yeah.
And here's a breakdown on how to build a proper shack grounding system.
Okay, number one, let's talk about the electrical grounding, or you could say the AC ground. This is your standard household ground designed to trip a breaker if a hot wire touches metal chassis, preventing you from getting shocked or electrocuted. How to use it? Use standard 3-prong power cords for all of your power supplies, your amplifiers, your accessories, your rigs. Get them grounded to the AC system, okay? And ensure that your shack's wall outlets are properly wired to your home's main electrical panel. Tom, I once had it in a new house we bought where I was going around checking the different outlets, and I saw that a couple of the outlets were wired backwards.
Yeah.
And this just happens. The rule is never lift or cut the third prong on an AC plug to cure a hum or noise issue.
Right. Rule number 2 is the RF ground, the station ground. And RF grounding keeps stray radio frequencies from turning your microphone hot, crashing your computer, and causing RF burns. One element of that system is the bus bar. Install a solid copper bus bar or heavy-duty copper pipe along the back of your operating desk. Star topology. Connect the chassis of every piece of equipment, your transceiver, amplifier, antenna tuner, power supply, directly to the bus bar. Do not daisy chain equipment together in order to go from a ground wire from your transceiver to your tuner to your receiver, blah, blah, blah. Ground each item individually.
To the same ground bar.
To the same ground, to the same bus bar. And use copper strap. For RF, surface area matters more than thickness because RF travels on the outside of the conductor, and that's called the skin effect. Use a flat copper strap, 1 or 2 inches wide, or heavy copper braid instead of stranded wire to connect your gear to the bus bar. And keep it short. Your RF ground connection should be as short and direct as possible.
That's good advice, Tom, because it helps you avoid these ground loops.
Yep.
Where different pieces of your equipment are actually at a different ground level.
Right.
And that's part of the problem there with that daisy chain thing and all. Okay, number 3 is what about lightning and surge protection ground? The system aims to keep lightning outside where it belongs. So you need a single point ground panel, SPGP. Bring all of your antenna coaxial cables into the house through a single metal plate or box located outside, right where the cables enter the house. The second thing here is surge protectors. Mount high quality lightning arresters like the ones I use, the poly phasers, for each coax line on this panel. What happens then, if you're suddenly getting this lightning starts coming in, it breaks the circuit. It's like a circuit breaker that stops it right at that point. Now, if it's super strong, it might just burn up the polyphaser and go right through it. But that's going to be pretty rare. And then you need the ground rod. Connect this SPGP to a dedicated exterior ground rod driven 8 feet into the ground using a wide, heavy copper strap.
Right. And the golden rule of grounding, bonding. If you drive a new ground rod outside your shack window for your antenna, you must bond or connect it to your home's main electrical service ground. You know, that ground right outside your meter that the electric company installed. According to the National Electric Code, Article 810, all ground rods must be tied together with a heavy gauge wire, you know, typically six gauge copper. If you don't bond them, a nearby lightning struck will create a massive voltage difference between the two rods. And that voltage will use your transceiver and your home's wiring as a bridge to equalize itself, destroying everything in its path.
Yeah, you're beckoning it in. It's like playing golf when there's a bad storm and you're standing out there on the golf course. Not so good. Funny story about this, Tom, is that I've got a neighbor here that had some bad dimmers for lights in her ceiling, and they were causing all kinds of interference for me because the dimmers were cheap dimmers. And so she called one of the expensive local electrical places to come out, and I met with her at the house and all. We went through this, and the guy said to me, "Oh, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is that you," meaning me as a ham operator, "you need more ground rods." He says, "You need to put ground rods all around your house and attach them together." This is what he said to me. I said, "I don't think so, buddy." So I went and bought better dimmers. In fact, I have a video on that, and I'll put it down below. There are only certain LED dimmers that have the proper grounding to keep that doggone RF from cheap LEDs out. Sidebar there, gang, but it's a funny story anyway. So a quick checklist for a clean setup here. We're talking about remove paint from the grounding lug areas on your equipment before attaching ground wires to ensure metal on metal contact. Use an external 1-to-1 choke or balun at the antenna feed point if you can to prevent RF from traveling back down the outside of your coax shield in the first place. And then lastly, inspect connections annually, especially outdoors, as copper oxidizes and physical connections can loosen over time. So do those checks. This has been our attempt to help you with this whole crazy topic of grounding. I know it can be difficult. We tried to just distill it down into a few things. Give it a try. It's important, right, Tom?
Right, absolutely. There's nothing worse than having a microphone hit your lips and giving you a kiss with about 120 volts.
Yep, or some lightning come down the line. All right, 73, everybody. On behalf of Ham Radio Perspectives, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Help us out. Make some comments down below that maybe even if you want to correct us, that's fine. We love it. We love to learn too. I'm Quin, K8QS.
I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
73.